Yeah, what is going on? So I figured I'd make a Xm4 Class video, and I've never made one of these. Yo, holy shit, my game is loud. Give me a second. About to get gunned by a bot, I can hear him. Yeah, I figured I'd shoot some bots with the Xm4 a little bit and talk about what I use in my class, like why I use the stuff and all that, you know, all that jazz. Like I said, I've never made one of these videos, but, you know, why not? Why fucking not? I've been using this thing a lot in like GBs and stuff, playing twos with my boy Slimes. These slimes, the best slimes, slimy slimes. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this shit. The first thing I use is the microflex. If you can't tell, it's literally right here in front of your eyes. I get a lot of shit for using the microflex sometimes because a lot of people like the mill stop for whatever reason. You know, I don't hate on people using the mill stop, but this microflex just gives me like some COD 4 vibes. You know what I mean? I love it. Shit feels nice. Next thing I use is the muzzle brake. Reason I use the muzzle brake is because of the infantry compensator. It gives you like a little bit of like a horizontal shake because it takes away like 8%, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's negative 8% of horizontal. So when you take that off, this gun already has like not that great of recoil compared to the Krig, and that's why a lot of mains, like main ARs, are still using the Krig, because you literally just don't really get that much recoil with that gun. And then compared to this one, this gun does get recoil. But the difference between the Krig and this gun is because the Krig got a nerf on its headshot multiplier. This gun, if you're like hitting your headshots against like Krigs, you'll wax them. It doesn't matter if they're hitting headshots, to be honest, because the headshot multiplier in this gun is just so much better now. It's not like insanely better, but you're definitely like 3 bulleting headshots when the Krig has to like 4 to 5 bullet. I wouldn't say 5, it's more like a 4, but that 1 bullet difference like to the head is like insane. And even if you're not hitting all headshots, it's just, you know, it's getting them weak as much as it possibly can, so it's pretty insane. Next thing I use is the extended barrel. That's the one that gives you bullet velocity. Takes away shooting move speed, but I used to use the other barrel that gives you range damage, which is called the takedown. I used to use that one because it didn't take away your strafe speed, but the thing that I've noticed is, especially since the Xm4's, at least if we're just talking like strictly like respawn, the Xm4 is more like a flex AR. I wouldn't necessarily say it's main AR. I'm not gonna say you can't main with it, but you definitely see way more people main with the Krig. Just because, like I said, it doesn't have recoil and it's just way better at range because it literally is like a Grip 2 ICR from BO4, bro. So this gun is more like your flex AR because you can kind of, you can run a gun with it a little more. I'm not saying you need to run around and fucking hip firing and shit, but I mean, use your head. You understand what I'm saying? And to be fair, I don't think running damage barrels is really that helpful because you're always gonna have use for bullet velocity, especially 100%. And damage range really doesn't help at like short to medium range gunfights that much. Like, it'll help here maybe, like if that was an actual gunfight, but like gunfights like that, it really doesn't help at all. You're better off just using bullet velocity to where it always helps. And then also I use field agent grip. Do not use speed grip. If you use speed grip, this thing is like, the recoil is just not gonna be, I'm not gonna say you can't control it, but you would way rather want to run field agent with muzzle than like trying to run speed grip with like infantry comp. Because even though the infantry compensator has like the vertical control, for one, it's not enough vertical control, and then secondly, it gives you that horizontal like I was speaking of earlier. So then you're using speed grip, which doesn't help with vertical. It gives you like 15% horizontal, but like I said, no vertical. The infantry comp doesn't help enough on vertical, and it's taking away horizontal. And so they're pretty much just like canceling each other out, but not in like a good way. And it's just, in my personal opinion, I would way rather run what I'm running with field agent and muzzle than infantry comp with like speed grip, or trying to run muzzle with speed grip or anything like that. and nobody uses the SOCOM muzzle because, you know, it's GA'd. I mean, you'll see stuff like that every now and then in like GBs and stuff, but if you're playing like serious stuff like CDL, you know, scrims, challengers, scrims, whatever you want to say, you know, you're running by GAs most of the time. So, like, you're not going to see that at all out of the SOCOMs or like the KGB muzzles that are on like the AKs. So, next thing I use is the jungle style mag, which is the second one, the one that makes you reload fast. I use gunfighter on my ARs, and if you're not using gunfighter, you're not going to be able to run muzzle and underbarrel, like with a grip. And if you don't run gunfighter and you want to have both of those, like, you're going to have to take off an attachment, which what I used to do when the game first came out and I ran this gun, I would try to run iron sights, but the iron sights aren't like terrible, but I would way rather run gunfighter and my gun just be stacked and not have, you know, flak and tack than having to try to use an iron sight and like trying to beam across the map when it's kind of hard to use. So you can use the 40 style, the 40 round mag. That's what a lot of people use as well, but I just feel like in like certain scenarios, like if you're reloading faster and you have to reload, yeah, you can switch to your pistol, but like if I can see that I have that chance to just reload when it's only going to take me like 2 seconds compared to with like a normal mag that reloads slow, it's going to take like 3 to 4 seconds. You have way better of a chance to just reload quick and then use your, you know, your better gun, your better weapon out of your primary than trying to switch to your pistol. Which also, the pistols in this game are kind of busted sometimes. But I mean, if you're running by GAs using the Diamatti isn't bad for normal multiplayer. But I just don't think the Diamatti is like that great compared to the M19. So next thing, last two things are the airborne elastic. If you're not using the airborne elastic handle, you're slow. I don't know how to be nicer about that. Like, there's no reason you should be using any other handle. You're literally getting like 30% aim speed. You're getting the ability to drop shot with it. It takes away 15% sprint to fire time, but people think about that way too much. For one, you're using an AR. If it's on an AR, I can understand if you try to make that argument with a sub sometimes, but like if you're using a AR, you're running up on headies like pre-aiming a lot more, you know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I would way rather have like a 30% ADS time than, you know, trying to have a cracked out sprint to fire time, because you shouldn't be sprinting that much. I mean, obviously you sprint around the map, but like if you're an AR, whether you're flex or especially if you're a main, you're playing positioning a lot. So you're not going to be sprinting around trying to like ego challenge, stuff like that all the time. So you run the airborne elastic, do not run anything else. I can understand if you're playing pubs and you don't have it unlocked or something, but if you are able to run the airborne elastic, run it. Next thing is the Raider pad stock. It's pretty obvious of why you use that one. A lot of people used to argue about the buffer tube stock, which is like the no stock looking one. If you remember, like the one that was in like Modern Warfare. People used to argue between this one, I remember, at the beginning of the game, because the buffer tube, you don't have as much takeaway on your hip fire, because it takes away 15% when the Raider pad takes away 30%. But again, kind of the same thing I was arguing about, like the sprint to fire time. You're using AR, you're not hip firing that much. And even with subs, like, I don't feel like, I mean, with subs, you're definitely probably hip fire maybe a little more, but it's like, I would way rather have like way better strafe speed and stuff, because that's what the Raider pad does. The Raider pad gives you like 40% strafe speed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 40% aim walking movement speed, and it takes away 30% hip fire accuracy. Like, who cares? Like, you're not hip firing that much. Get the strafe, you're on headies, like throw shoulders faster. That's way more helpful than every once in a while when you hip fire. There's no reason to use the buffer tube, in my opinion. Unless like you're using a sub and you're hip firing all the time. So that's my setup. I've been using XM4 a lot more in GBs and stuff like that lately. I've been kind of sliding toward the XM4 a lot more than the Krig. Especially in like search. I don't know, this gun just feels like so... It's a good, like, in-between AR, you get what I'm saying? It feels like it hits harder. I mean, yeah, it has recoil, but, like, if you run, like, the muzzle field agent like I am, this thing is pretty much a beamer. Like, all you have to do is pull down on it a little bit. If you're running, like, infantry comp, like I was talking about earlier, you're having to, like, pull down and, like, pull to the left, and it's just... It's not ideal. You would way rather run attachments that you don't have to do much to control than run attachments that you have to do more to control, you get what I'm saying? Like, don't make the job harder on yourself. I promise these attachments they're nice. The only thing I could say that I mean, other than, like, if personal preference, like, run 40 rounds, if that's what you want to do, then run it. The only other thing I could see you running, like, switching is, like, the takedown. If you really feel like you're running into gunfights that you're just not maybe like killing quick enough, like you're just not hitting hard enough, like across the map, like gunfights like this, just long range gunfights that you feel like you're not just killing fast enough, like you're running into those a lot more, then maybe you could try switching to the damage range. But like I said, if you really think about it, you're using the bullet velocity all the time. You're not using damage range all the time. Damage range only helps at like gunfights like this, like I said. So I'd say stick to the bullet velocity, but it's understandable if you switch to damage range, but I just think bullet velocity is just... You literally feel like you're on a better host sometimes, bro. Like, you feel like you're playing on better internet with bullet velocity sometimes. It's insane. So, hope this helps you out and you like it and you might use something else that maybe I didn't talk about. You know, comment it, talk to me about it, and I'll see if you're right or not. But thanks for watching the video. You know, leave a like, subscribe, all this stuff, and like I said, I hope it helps out, and hope you have a great day, guys.